Oh, okay. Fuck it. You guys are talking warm up. We'll start in a minute. Well, first off, who do you have? I know you're gonna pick Mavs, but do you think Mavs can pull
How
it
do you
off?
know that?
Because you're just like me. You're like a dedicated Lakers fan. You don't want Celtics to win one.
But I also like to be right though too.
It's true. So,
I don't know. I think
all right.
I think we might have to, you know, have that be the carrot at the end of the stick right here for the
I
viewers
see.
to see
I see. I see. I
who we're
see.
predicting at the end. I
All
mean,
right. All right.
it's pretty easy to say like, oh, they're Laker fans, so they're biased. They don't want to see the Celtics win another championship. But hey, we want to let it be known that we know ball, right?
Yeah. Hell
So we're
yeah.
gonna do our
True.
best to display our ball knowledge.
With the band Celtics in foe.
Ooh,
Damn, that's bold.
confident. See,
I need to
confident.
see a confident. I need to see at least 7 games with the band. Come on, man.
I mean, we're all
You know.
basketball fans, right? Who doesn't
Yeah. Yeah.
love
Yeah.
a 7 game series?
Yeah. You already know the NBA needs that. They need
I
that
mean,
7 game. They need that game 7 money.
once the series is over, that's it until what, October?
Pretty much, man.
Come on,
Yeah.
let's not get greedy.
I know. Come on, man. We're still months away from football season, so
Yep,
baseball
Stanley Cup.
doesn't. Stanley Cup, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Then
we
was
got the
it?
Olympics in the summer.
Oh yeah, we do have Olympics. All
We do
right,
have
we good.
Olympics.
All right, we good this year then. We all right. We all right.
Yeah, yeah, Olympics.
Then
Baseball is starting to heat up a little bit.
baseball.
I
I
mean,
mean,
basketball,
but baseball don't get like interesting until like
like August,
August, September. Yeah.
and then boom, football.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. And then boom, basketball.
Ah,
It's
yep,
a
that's how it goes.
vicious cycle. We
Vicious.
definitely need more than foe. Yeah, thank you.
That way. Mo then foe.
Yes, I am ready, Jorizi.
We all ready. Let's get
To the
cracking.
cave where the men are bold, covering sports tales that have never been told. From the court to the ring, we bring the heat. B-ball, football, combat sports, KD. In the underground cave, we ball like the best. Dribble through defenses, yo, we ain't stressed. From three-pointers to slam dunks, we make it rain. Cave Sports Mania, it's the name of the game. 5P0RT5. When the cave in, we're always live. 5P0RT5. When the action, come take it live.
Yo. Damn, I like that new song though. That's crazy. Shout out
That's interesting.
K4 V3 with the jam. But anyways, thank you everybody for tuning in. This is Francis coming at you live and direct with my boy Feel the Burn. Man, last time we were on here doing a basketball show episode, it was like right before the playoffs started,
Yep.
and just life got in the way. But I'm glad we were doing it big for the finals. But man, this is probably one of the best, not best, most interesting, I should say, playoffs I've seen in a long time. Everything that I thought was gonna happen in terms of the Western Conference, uh, didn't happen. I thought it was gonna be Nuggets, but on the East, I mean, we could say we all thought Celtics were gonna win the Eastern Conference. Um, but yeah, man, what are your thoughts so far about this playoffs? Before we jump into the finals preview, what are some things you took away from these series that you watched here and there, Zach?
Um, Definitely unpredictable. For sure on the West more than the East. But that being said, I did. I did like the Pacers getting as far
Mhm.
as they did. Shout out to the in-season tournament. People want to discredit that, but I think it had them a little battle tested for these playoffs. If nothing else, dude, I was kind of pulling for the Knicks a little bit there.
Me too.
They had
Me
the
too.
Garden rocking. That was really cool to see. Being as young as we are, like we haven't really seen that all that often. In our fan watching livelihood
Yeah.
or lifetime.
Mhm.
But the Celtics really, showed their dominance in these playoffs. Shout out to them. I mean, we are Laker fans. We talked about it on the
Mhm.
intro there. We are Laker fans. Uh, but props to where props are due, and they
Yeah.
really ran away with the East. The West, a lot of fun. Some unfortunate Laker games there in the
Let's not
Nugget
talk
series,
about it.
dude.
Bruh.
Crazy, like they I think they blew
They were leading
crazy
70,
leads
yeah, they were leading 70% of
of the
of
time, right?
the
Yeah,
time. Yeah, but they just couldn't
couldn't
close down
close.
the stretch. Um,
Crazy.
so yeah, man. But yeah, I mean, then as soon as Denver beat the Lakers, I was like, all right, well, to me, I felt like Denver beat the team that could match up with them with the best, which is
Yeah,
the Lakers. I thought they were going to have an easy route
me too.
to the finals, but it goes back to how strong the West is and how matchups play such a crazy aspect into that.
Yeah,
Um, and then they ran into a Wolves team that was just confident and hungry and
hungry. Yeah,
fucking Ant Man, boy.
hungry like the wolf.
Yeah, hungry
That's
like the
funny.
Wolves. And then you go into the Western Conference Finals, and Kyrie and Luca just dominant. They showed their shot making ability in
Yep,
full effect.
100%.
Defense draped all over them. Nothing can do nothing to stop them. So at the end of the day, it brings us here to the NBA Finals. So just a little breakdown what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a little not a preview overview of the Celtics road to the finals, little strengths, their weaknesses, some stats we'll pull. Then same thing for the Mavs. We're gonna do a little road to the finals, start from what happened in the season and all the way till now. Touch on their strengths and weaknesses, and then from there we're just gonna make some predictions. This should be a pretty quick episode. Um, but yeah, we're gonna try to do as many episodes in between during these finals. So yeah, let's get started with the Celtics, man. I feel like during the regular season, obviously they're one of the top teams in the East.
Yep.
But I did see the Sixers being ahead of them just because Joel Embiid was on a fucking sick one to start the season. Um, Slightly ahead of the Celtics. But then as soon as Embiid went down in the middle of the season, I just had a feeling with Celtics were just gonna come be like just gonna come with it. Being the fact that they were in the finals about was it 2 years ago, and Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum really have developed their games.
Hmm.
It's really crazy to see a team with two wing scorers that are dominant, and both of them, since they've developed the chemistry, they can both one can take over while the other plays off the ball, and they just have this vibe where whoever's feeling it, they can go one on one, and the other one can come off a screen or action. And yeah, man, I haven't seen really anything like it in terms of shooting guard, small forward type of 1-2 combination in a long time. I mean, the closest thing I think to me seeing something like that is like MJ Pippen. But I feel like this is like a
It's
more
a good
modern
comp.
version. Yeah, like a more modern version where both are really good at scoring. I don't think Jason Tatum or Jalen Brown are super good at defense like Jordan and Scottie Pippen were, but they're good enough where they're young. They'll jump the passing lanes. They can get in your grill. So yeah, man. I mean, we have to say being in the Eastern Conference, it's after the Sixers and the Knicks and Bucks even like after that is it's not really playing too much championship caliber competition. So when you're playing dominant, you're gonna get a number one East seed in the East, And from there, I mean, like a lot of people like to say that this is like a fluke if they win because they play teams that are injury riddled. But I like to disagree with that because if you're the number one seed in the East, you earned it. And if people are hobbling into the playoffs, that's not their fault. I mean, Giannis couldn't stay healthy. Embiid couldn't stay healthy. Jalen Brunson couldn't stay healthy. Halliburton, when they
Halliburton.
faced Halliburton, he couldn't stay healthy. So it is what it is. And I mean, they played without Porzingis, who is the guy I felt like was their him and we talked about this in the beginning before the playoffs started. Him and Drew Holiday were the key signings they did this past offseason. I think that elevated their team um, to a championship level team because you always need like glue guys, role players that will star and shine in their role. And they didn't even have their third best scorer in throughout the season, and now I mean throughout the playoffs, and now he's coming back in the finals. We'll see how healthy Porzingis is,
Yep.
but yeah, man. I mean, anything you'd like to add based on their road to the finals and how you see them as a team coming into the championship finale?
So they've definitely been in cruise control. It feels like, at least from what I've been seeing
Mhm.
in terms of their success in from regular season through the playoffs. 6-0 on the road, 37-4 at home during the regular season, 6-0 in the playoffs. I don't know on the road. Playing these teams that have missing superstars and that's part of the game. That's not like your favorite saying, like the best ability is availability.
Mhm.
And Celtics, for the most part, have been available except for Porzingis. Uh, that's going to be a big key, um, in my opinion, for the Celtics. Is if Porzingis is healthy, he adds a layer to the front court to be able to counter down low and help with the rebound battle. We'll get into more and we'll get more into that and what that could mean for the series as a whole.
Mhm.
But getting him back for game one, I mean, we've seen instances in the past of across all sports. You get a injured player back in time for the playoffs. It works sometimes it doesn't.
Mhm.
Um, but in this scenario, I think they have done their due diligence. They obviously see that they have a need for him with this matchup, and I feel like uh, if there's one thing that Boston can't have happen is lose game one.
Mhm.
Um, game one is, I think, more critical for Boston than it is for Dallas in terms of like momentum. Um, because if Boston, like I said, Boston lost 4 times in the regular season at home. If they lose game one to the Mavs, that sets the tone early. It allows for the Mavs, who came off a pretty impressive Western Conference um, run, uh, just continue that momentum with Doncic and Kyrie. Um, so that goes back to making sure that Chris Apps can play and be a factor in this series is going to be crucial. So
Mhm.
shout out to them for seeing that that's a necessity, and I'm very curious to see how much juice Porzingis has in the
Yeah, man.
tank and how healthy he is.
Yeah, man. I feel like Porzingis is gonna play a key role. Just because to me, the one weakness that the Celtics, nice, the one weakness that the Celtics have is they're not very big in the front court
Yep.
compared to the Dallas Mavericks.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also like a strength of theirs too, depending if they're hitting their shots. So the Celtics
Mm-hmm.
put up a lot of threes. They in the playoffs they led out of all the teams who made it in the playoffs. They attempted the most threes. They attempted 40 threes. So sometimes if they live and die by it, but when they're clicking and they're knocking down, I mean, you see Derek White and Drew Holiday. If they're getting a kick out off of Jalen Brown, dive to the basket and then just kicking it out and they're wide open, more than likely they're gonna hit it. But that's if they're feeling it right. So same goes with Porzingis. I think if you're able to bring Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively out of the paint, you
Yeah.
create more driving lanes for Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown to create. And if Mavs can't figure that out, they're in for a long series. I don't know, but
Or
I
quick series, right?
or quick series, I should say. Yes, quick series, I should say. Yes. Um, but we'll see how Porzingis is. I mean, that like you said, like sometimes when you're injured and you come back, it can be good for the team, or you could kind of hurt the team because you're rusty. You haven't been getting live game action. Like he only played a few games in round one, and I mean, this is the playoffs. You need to have some sort of momentum and rhythm going. If you come in cold, I'm not too sure how he's gonna be, but who knows what his training regimen has been during his little uh, break or rest, I should say. So yeah, man. I mean, the Celtics will live and die by the three. If they're hitting on all cylinders, it's gonna be crazy. And um, I'm interested to see how Jason Kidd is gonna play that because I feel like the only way to beat the Celtics is if you somehow cut off the driving lanes
Mm-hmm.
and you have to close out on the at the shooters hard. So you have to get creative on on your rotations, your timing, and all that. Because if you're too late on a help, then it's just a domino effect. Then it's gonna create. They're gonna Celtics are gonna kick, swing, and someone's gonna have an open three. And by
Yeah.
end of it, it might be Porzingis at the top of the key with that
Yeah.
open three. So yeah, man, it'll be fun to see what the Mavs have in store for defensively and how they're gonna prepare for this kind of unique situation that they're heading against. Jerezy, Mavs in three, bro. This the Earth is flat. Yeah, I mean we'll talk about that later. um, but
Oh, I
yeah,
love
man.
it.
Any other strengths and weaknesses you might see that might help propel these Boston Celtics to a championship,
I mean,
or defer them from a championship?
yeah, being cold
Yeah.
from with their shots. If they're not, if their shots aren't going in, it's going to be um I think tough for them to beat the Mavs. With Porzingis, with his calf injury, I'm very curious to see how I don't want to say like in like a dirty sense, but
Yeah.
to see a little bit of bully ball on him,
Mm-hmm.
seeing the
They're
front
gonna
court of the Mavs test him, you
mm-hmm.
know.
For sure, man. They're gonna put
Uh,
him in pick and roll situations for sure.
they're gonna have to get him out there running, get him on his calf.
Mm-hmm.
He has not seen live game action in some time, so um, yeah, that's gonna be that could be something where like just because they have him back doesn't also mean that like you have to force things to him.
Mm-hmm. Very, very good.
I do wonder if it's kind of like a decoy esque
Mm,
move on the
mm-hmm.
Celtics part. Um, there, if the Celtics don't outshoot the Mavs from three, that's going to be a problem. If they don't out rebound the Mavs, that's going to be a
Mm-hmm.
problem.
Mm-hmm.
But
Very
we'll get
true.
into that with the Mavs.
Yeah, one thing I'd like to touch on too before we start on the Mavs is I think what might defer the Celtics from winning one is their competition on the way to the finals hasn't been
Okay.
too too crazy or too strong to say, if you want to say, because I feel like to be a champion you have to be battle tested. I mean, a lot of the past champions they kind of went through grueling series and tested their mental fortitude, and I feel like
Mhm.
yeah, you're going through 7 games versus the Celtics who were basically gentlemen sweeping everybody. Um, it's a little bit different, but we'll see. I mean, it could be a factor, it could not be. It's just something we have to keep our eyes on.
I will say this with in terms of that battle tested, Celtics are 4-0 when the
Mm,
game is within 5 points within the last 5 minutes of the
that's good to
game.
know. That's good to know.
So they have had some clutch moments and close games. So being able to close out each and every one of them is a testament to the Celtics.
Yeah. That one game one against the Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals, that was crazy. I mean, there's some mistakes the Pacers made that the Celtics capitalized on, um, which helped them win game one and pretty much helped them
Hmm.
cruise to that sweep. But I felt like Pacers had that game one to steal,
Yeah.
to make it somewhat interesting, and they had some their youth showed in that in those moments. But yeah, I mean, Celtics definitely took advantage, and you're right, they were clutch and took care of business.
Yep.
But yeah, man, let's go on to let's go on to Kyrie.
I'm excited for this.
Damn, he's about to what do you call that shit? Is it incense?
Sage.
Yeah, sage. He's gonna take out all the bad energy in Boston. But yeah, man,
That's funny.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what Kyrie does because I mean Boston's
Uh,
fans hate this motherfucker, dog,
I mean, wouldn't
and
you?
I mean, yeah, if Kyrie came to my squad and kind of f things up for a little bit, I probably would too. But I'm looking forward to the boos he's gonna receive every time he touches the ball, and I'm looking forward to like crazy step back jumpers he's gonna make while he's being booed. It's inevitable. So yeah,
I
man.
want to say this. I mean this in the
Yeah.
most respectful way possible. This is gonna sound hating as hell,
Hmm.
but that whole Kyrie stuff, like all that happened, that couldn't have happened to a better franchise than the Celtics. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
just because now, like, I mean, it could have been Philly too, because like Philly fans are nuts,
Hmm.
but those Boston fans, dude,
Yeah,
they're a whole different breed, and so this is gonna be this is the grandest stage of the sport, with one of the most hated people in Boston history, at least in Boston basketball history. It's just
I mean,
I'm so looking forward to this.
yeah, man. The one thing I respect about Boston fans, like even if you're in the front row or in a couple of like closer sections, there's gonna be fans like heckling. It's not like Laker fans. They're fans up front in the Laker games, especially during playoffs. There's mostly celebrities and fucking hedge fund owners or whatever it may be.
Hmm.
No one's really knows ball, but
These are
Celtics fans,
townies,
like,
bro.
yeah, yeah, they're townies with money and they're looking to talk shit, so it's gonna be fun.
They want number 18 bad too.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, man, let's start off with the road of the Mavericks, bro. Like, I personally, before the season started, didn't think the Mavs were gonna be in this position, just because last year, to me, their weakness has always been defense and their front court.
Yeah.
They're not very strong front court. They're not very aggressive uh, defensively, so it puts a lot of weight on the shoulders for um, on Kyrie and Luca to just pretty
Yeah.
much outscore the opponent. But they made some really key trades during before the deadline. They signed Daniel Gafford. They traded for Daniel Gafford from Washington, and they also got PJ Washington from Charlotte, who are much better than Dwight Powell is. Um, and Derek Lively was a great draft. He's a rookie, and he's been showing he
Hmm.
knows his role. He sets hard ass screens. He rolls to the basket. If he gets the ball in the dunker spot after a pick and roll, he's very decisive. And knows how to make some. And then Derek Jones Jr. is a good signing too. You have an athletic wing that can knock down threes. Essentially a 3-and-D guy. Um, so yeah, man, these are some tough guys, and their defense also was like top 10 the last 20 games before the season ended, and then throughout the playoffs as well. Um, and you can see it in their the Timberwolves series. They're just all up in Anthony Edwards' grill,
Hmm.
because they knew Anthony Edwards was the only creator on that team, and if they just kind of nullify him, that they would have an advantage. And when you had Luca and Kyrie, they figured it out. Kyrie is
Yeah.
mature enough to know that this is Luca's team, but when he needs me, I'm gonna pull up and I'm gonna fucking bang on these guys. Like just shoot, and pretty much like Kobe style, just like hitting shots in people's faces is so demoralizing,
Hmm.
and it can just give you so much confidence to your teammates too. So with that being said, that's some of their weaknesses. I'd like to say is their free throws.
Hmm.
I like to point that out because they are in the low 70s, and that's not very good for a championship caliber team, especially in some games when it gets close. It's gonna be a free throw game. I mean, we saw Luca miss a couple of key free throws in one of the in the Timberwolves series. He could have sealed or at least tied the game. Um, I think it was game four. I
Mm-hmm.
forget which one, but yeah. So those are some things. I mean, they're what are they? They're 72%. I feel like a championship caliber team should be, yeah, they're 72% for the
It should be
postseason.
higher, right?
It'd be at
80.
least 80. Should it be at least in the 80s? And Derek Lively is not the greatest free throw shooter too, so they could play like the hack a Shaq kind of game too. So that's my biggest takeaway is from the weaknesses, and also, uh, I mean, your offense is really dependent on Luca and Kyrie. So if they're not clicking, there's nothing outside of that that can make it work. Whereas the Celtics, I feel like since they play like a five out uh type of game, their spread offense. Like if Jason Tatum or Jalen Brown is not really feeling it, at least like if they move the ball enough, Derek White and Drew Holiday and Kristaps can um can score the bucket too. So I just feel like that could be a weakness for the Mavs that can nullify that can stop them from getting a championship. But on the flip side, I think they are bigger under their strengths. They're bigger than the Celtics. I feel like their front court is a lot more, I'd say, stronger up front with Derek Lively, and you also got Derek Jones Jr. And PJ Washington
Mm-hmm.
versus the front court of the Celtics is essentially Kristaps Porzingis, Jalen Brown, and Jason Tatum because they're starting Derek White and Drew Holiday at 1 and 2. Um, so yeah, I mean, if they can take advantage of their size and kind of score in the paint more, I think the Mavs can pull that off if they get easier buckets. Because what I saw in the Timberwolves series is Luka in the pick and roll is dangerous because you really have to. For me, the only way to stop Luka in a pick and roll is like right after he comes off that screen, you kind of have to double team him right away and
Mm-hmm.
force him to pass the ball because if you leave the ball in his hands, he's gonna make a play. If you play, if you switch, they're gonna find the matchup, and he's just gonna, like we saw in that game winner. They just got the Rudy Gobert switch, and he just danced on him, bam, bam, bam. And then if you're not doing a hard switch and you're just playing drop coverage, you're allowing Luca to make a decision based on what the big dropping is gonna do. So sometimes if the big comes up quick, then that leaves Gafford or Lively up for a wide open lob. But we saw that multiple times in that Timberwolves series. And if you don't come up, he has like a really wide open mid range push shot. And same goes with Kyrie. I mean, if you're gonna do that with Kyrie, I mean, you kind of have to like just double him off the bat and make the screener make the play, which is Derek Lively, and just live with whatever happens. Someone's gonna be
Yeah.
open, obviously, but I think that's the only way to kind of play your cards because Kyrie and Luka are so deadly that you know I would rather have someone else score the ball than Kyrie and Luka. So that would just be me. But
Do you
but yeah, man,
think do you think Luca and Kyrie is the better duo than Tatum and Jalen Brown?
I think so. I think they are the better duo. Um, just because Kyrie's battle tested, obviously. Yeah, he's had clutch moments, and Luca himself has clutch moments. Not to say Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown aren't clutch. I think they are better duo by like a hair or two. Um, but I mean, that's the thing. That's why this series is gonna be really fun to watch because I think Kyrie, Luca, and Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum they kind of balance each other out. All four are killers. They've proven
Mm-hmm.
themselves. They're gonna score. They're gonna get theirs. It's really about the role players now. Who's gonna step up from the Mavs and the Celtics? Is it gonna be Porzingis and Drew Holiday, or is it gonna be PJ Washington and Derek Lively and Derek Jones Jr.? Those guys are gonna be the key to all this. Um, but yeah, man, who do you think is gonna be who's a better duo?
I mean, I do think it's Luka and Kyrie, but I don't think the gap between them and Tatum and Brown is greater than the gap of the role players.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the role players are definitely better on the Celtics side than on the Mavs side.
I agree.
Um, but I mean, coaching wise, I think Kid gets the nod. In my opinion, I think Kid's
Yes, touching on the
been
coaching.
around more and has more experience, and he played in these games, in these high level games, and had prominent roles in said games. But I mean, the Mavs are gonna have to, like I said earlier, out rebound the Celtics,
Mm-hmm.
and they're gonna have to actually outshoot them as well from three if
Mm-hmm.
they want to win this series, in my opinion.
At least
Uh,
match them. If you're not gonna outshoot them, like be right there with them. Like you're
yeah,
definitely right. Because I mean, the analytics is kind of true at that point. If you the more threes you shoot, more than likely, and if you're good at it, which the Celtics are good at it, then more than likely you'll win some more games. But
yeah,
you're right. I think they gotta go shot for shot. But that's the thing too. Like the Mavs really can't. They can go shot for shot, but I don't think every shot has to match their three. Because I think the Mavs' strength is their size. So if Luca can get down low or even get like a nice mid range, uh, that can help them. But yeah, man, they definitely gotta at least be close in the 3 point. Because if Celtics shoot like 12 more threes than the Mavs, I think they're not gonna win. But they have to be within at least 4 to 3 shots of that 3 point making stat. So that count, I should say.
yeah.
Um, Batman, is there any key matchups you think are gonna like? Obviously, Drew Holiday is gonna guard Kyrie, and I think that's gonna be fun to watch because Drew Holiday, in my opinion, is one of the better on-ball defenders in this league, if
Mhm.
not the best, arguably. Um, but Kyrie is like, I mean, Kyrie's Kyrie. He's a wizard, so I don't know how it's gonna be fun to see what Drew Holiday is gonna try to force him to, what side he's gonna try to force him to, because you can't really stop Kyrie. You just have to force him in a way where you can live with that shot. And what is that shot or play that Celtics are going to live with? But I don't know. I don't know who's going to guard Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown. I feel like I don't know. I mean,
So, uh, Kid's gonna have his work cut out for him when it comes
mhm,
to what he wants to do with them. You almost kind of got to let him be played one on one. Like
yeah,
it's gonna be tough to double them. I think because then like you said, they're just gonna pass till they find the open shot,
mhm,
and with the way that they shoot, like that, it could be bad news. I some stats that I pulled that I wanted to throw out there that the Celtics when they out rebound their opponent in this playoffs are undefeated
mhm.
10-0.
Oh wow.
Uh, when they lose the rebounding battle, they're 2-2.
Mm,
They're the number one team in terms of getting to the free throw line. The Mavs, I think I read, were number 4. Um, and the Celtics were 11-13 when opponents hit more threes than them.
wow. Okay.
Um, so that's where my logic is going.
Mhm,
I don't know how much stock I'm going to put in the environments in this series. I feel like this is one of those rare matchups where I don't think home court's going to matter in the sense of I think both Luka and Kyrie are going to be completely unfazed by the environment in Boston.
I agree.
They're such unique superstars in what they do and how they play that they can cancel them out as long as they're hot. Um, and on the flip side with the Mavs, like I just feel like Boston historically has always felt like they're a team that can play anywhere, you know,
Mhm.
because the Garden's so intense that they're used to, a live crowd.
Yeah,
So no matter
for
where
sure.
they go, it's just another, you know, arena that they're playing in.
Mhm,
But I think that the biggest thing is going to be defensively how the Mavs plan to defend Tatum and Brown.
Yeah.
That's going to be their biggest defensive key, is primarily focusing on those two. It's going to be tough for sure. They have a tough decision to make on what they want to do with those two.
Hmm. I mean, Luca at some point is going to have to guard one of the two because
Yeah.
I mean, and that's one of Luca's weaknesses is his defense. He's improved a lot this season. I feel like
Yeah.
he made a step forward, but he's not like an elite stopper. I feel like at some point if he's left on the island with either Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown, they're gonna get theirs. So, but I've always thought defense is a mentality. So if you're just hungry, you can make shots tougher. But this is the NBA, so I have no idea like uh, how difficult it is. I just know it's like Luca has a work cut out for him because of the and same with Kyrie too. Kyrie hasn't been known to be the best defender, so are they gonna put him in a post situation where Drew Holiday can just because in that sense Drew like even though I said Mavs are bigger as a team, their one weakness for their size is Kyrie. So Kyrie's an undersized guard, and I feel like Drew Holiday does have the strength to post him up and see how that works. So it's just gonna be key. Like I don't know, yeah, and it's like who, I feel like if I were Jason Kidd, I would put PJ Washington and Derrick Jones Jr. on one of the two on Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown. I wouldn't have Luca guard any of them just because maybe off a switch on a off a fast break on transition, but not after a made basket and on a setup. I think Luca has to guard either probably Derek White, and then Kyrie's left with Drew Holiday right here. So yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting to see what they have. I'm looking forward to game one. I want to see what both coaches, Joe Mazzulla and Jason Kidd, have in store. Like how they're gonna play the stars and what positions um, the role players are gonna be in, and what the rotation is gonna be like. Are they gonna go really tight rotation, like 7, 8 deep only, or are they gonna kind of dig in their bench a little bit and go into like a 9, 10 man if they're willing to do that? Um, so we'll
I mean,
see.
normally teams don't get so deep into in their rotation in the finals because it's like you got a couple days in between games, and
Yeah, that's true. They
you don't
they'll
really need to
they'll
get
play
very deep.
they'll play Kyrie, Luca, and Jason Tatum and Brown. They're gonna play like 38 to 40 minutes, maybe even to 43, maybe like just a 5 minute break. Um, so yeah, man, looking forward to see and the conditioning of all both teams. Let's see who's gonna make it, man. So
I definitely want to put those uniforms back up here. I think it was pretty interesting. They already announced what we're going to see
ooh, okay,
for the first 4 games.
nice.
It's going to be a fun little uniform. Like all the intangibles
Mm-hmm.
around this matchup too are awesome. You got obviously Kyrie going back to Boston.
Mm-hmm.
You got
Porzingis playing against his old team.
Porzingis against his old team. Luca in his first finals.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of storylines.
Horford's never won one, right?
Bruh. Horford zero.
So, I mean, it's funny because I remember when he was at Florida and they won back to back. Now he's
Yeah, with
I was like,
Joakim
man,
Noah
Joakim
and like
Noah.
Corey Brewer. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a nice college squad.
Good squad. They kept beating fucking UCLA.
I know.
I think they beat them in the national championship and then in the Final Four the next year. But
That was like the Jordan Farmar UCLA teams, right?
Farmar, yeah. Aflalo, I think. Aaron
Follow
Aflalo.
too. Maybe Ariza was on one of those teams too.
I think Ariza was on one, and then Kevin Love came after.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know. Going way back into the brain, dude.
Yeah.
That's when I was really into it. I love March Madness. But also, I mean, like I said before, Celtics trying to find, Larry for the 18th time, and finally getting that little head up on the Lakers again. I know that means a lot to that franchise and those fans. They want it so bad. Are we going to see another European take over in the NBA Finals?
Oh man,
and absolutely just be the catalyst for the reason why the Mavs win? Or is it going to be Porzingis on the other side? Like this, there's a lot of interesting storylines in this series.
Yeah, a lot of mini stories within the big story, right? So that's what I'm looking forward to see. I think this is. I mean, I'm glad to see the NBA is back to like a more even level playing field where you don't really know who's gonna win the championship. I mean, for a few years we already knew it was gonna be the Warriors, right? And it was gonna be Warriors Cavs, like for like God knows how many years. It was like, all right, let's just fast forward to the playoffs because we already know it's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
Warriors Cavs. But these last like maybe 4 seasons, it's always been someone different.
Yeah,
And it just goes to show how how skilled the players are now. What team is Keelan Clark on?
spelled Caitlin wrong.
She's on the Indiana Fever, bro. God.
I got a fever. We need a whole another episode on that. That shit's wild, dude.
Oh yeah, yeah. WNBA.
That shit's
WNBA.
wild. The W, it's lit right now, dude.
Oh man, people are flocking to see that, and I've read a stat that this year is. I mean, obviously, this is the highest year where people are betting on WNBA games.
Love it.
Yeah, so
Love it. As a girl dad myself, dude, it's been fun to watch.
she's kind of a baddie.
There's a lot of baddies in the
There's a lot
WNBA,
of
dude.
baddies in WNBA. Yeah, there's
A
that
lot of
one.
baddies.
Man, we're getting off track. Hold up, real sick.
Yeah, this is a finals preview. Sorry,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
ladies, we will give you
Uh,
your time to shine, 100%. Here in the
Um.
cave, we love the ladies.
All right, so let's just. I mean, pretty much talked about both teams' strengths and
Yep.
weaknesses.
Prediction.
Let's start closing it out, man. I want you to go first.
Me to go first. All right.
Yes, because
So,
I feel like you're gonna choose. I already know. I already know what you're gonna do.
what do you mean?
Just say your prediction.
You,
Let me see if
you
I'm right.
do you think I learned my lesson from the Super Bowl?
I don't know. I think you.
Would I rather get what I want, or would I rather be right? Right.
Yeah,
But what if it's the same thing?
yeah,
Can I have
that's
both,
true.
right?
True.
For me personally, yeah, we're gonna do game by game. I think Boston takes game one. I feel like they're gonna. That's just my gut with that one. I would like to see Mavs take game one, but I think Boston's gonna, they had a lot of rest. They should be 100%. I mean, Mavs had. When did they finish the series? Was that Sunday?
Mavs got them in 5, so it was last Sunday. Yeah.
Okay, so not too much more rest for Boston. Yeah, I like Boston game one. Uh, Proper sent his prediction in. Let me read it for you. It'll be on tomorrow when we do our recap. Proper has Mavs game one.
Whereas Mavs game 1. Okay. I want to go. I'm gonna agree with you. I think Boston's gonna take game 1 a little more rested. I think they want to show their crowd, do the due diligence to the fans that come out. I think it's gonna be close though. I feel like every game this series is gonna be close. But I think Boston does take game 1 for sure.
Uh,
Are we doing predictions for the whole series too, or are we just gonna go game
I'm
by
going to
game?
give my series prediction.
Yeah, do that.
So me personally, obviously this is a battle between, like I said, what I want and what I think is going to happen.
Mhm.
The Mavs have really shown out in these playoffs. They've convinced me that they have a legit chance and they have a shot at winning the whole thing. I, as a Laker fan, obviously don't want to see the Celtics win another championship. However, the Celtics have been the juggernaut all season. They've been the favorite all season, and I've played up to it all season. They have home field or home court advantage for the finals, which I think is a big deal because they're so tough to beat at home. So even if they lose on the road, which they haven't done in the playoffs yet, they just got to win at home and be fine.
Mhm.
I think the role players are better. The one thing that's holding me back from saying this is going to be Celtics in 4 is the superstar factor on the other side in Luka and Kyrie. And um, Kyrie's had his back against the wall before against arguably the greatest team to ever step foot on an NBA court, down 3-1, and he was the one that hit major shots to seal some of those games. Obviously, LeBron helped, and LeBron had great defensive play. That block, obviously, insane. So it's not they're not going to go down without a fight, but I'm going to go official prediction: Celtics in 5.
Celtics in 5.
Yeah,
Damn.
I know. I don't feel good about it.
I am on that train with you as well in terms of what I think and what I want. But I'm too impulsive, so I'm gonna go with what I want. And I am saying Mavs in 7.
Yeah.
I feel like you said, Kyrie has had his back against the wall, and he wants that. It just kind of reminds me of that Kobe situation when he wants to win one without LeBron. Kobe wants to win one without Shaq. Kind of his he has a big chip on his shoulder.
You know what the difference is, though? These two are giving love to each other right now on interviews. Kobe and Shaq weren't doing that.
That's true. That's true.
They just talk about how they miss each other.
Different times, though, man. Different times.
A little different.
Different generations. But yeah, I'm going Mavs in 7. I just feel like they have the momentum. They didn't have. I mean, no one really predicted they would be in this position before the playoffs started, and as each series went on, even in the Western Conference Finals, I think I had no idea. I was like, this could go anyway. But after Game 1, I was very confident that Mavs are going to take it. So I feel like they have the momentum. They're not. I feel like they're more battle tested. I think that's a huge factor, and that's the reason why I am choosing the Mavs in 7. It's going to be really close, though. Like I said, I think Boston even might win the first 2 games at home, and Mavs are going to win. I feel like here's
for the next 5.
Yeah. No. Games. 4 the next. Yeah, I think so too. Because I think
that's crazy.
I think Mavs might actually lose games 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And then they're going to win game 3 and 4. I feel like they might lose game 5 in Boston, go back to Dallas, win game 6, and then Luka and Kyrie are just going to go fucking crazy in game 7. And it's going to be Flat Earth Society. Yeah, baby.
I know all the cavemen are rooting for the Mavs for sure.
It's not flat, bro. It's like something like this.
I will say though, game 1, if the Mavs can pull off stealing game 1, that's gonna be like, all right, Celtics better win game 2, because if they don't, man, they're gonna be in a world of hurt. Because I definitely could see a world where the Mavs steal game 1 and then come out and punch them in the mouth game 2 and just say, no, like we came to play.
Yeah.
Like here's your battle tested Boston. Like that's definitely a world that we do live in, I think. But I'm not predicting that.
Yeah. All right, man. Glad we asked the viewers. All right, viewers, real quick. Anybody listening right now, give me your prediction. I know with one of the Celtics fans at the beginning said Celtics in 4.
Celtics in 4, yeah.
What was his name again? With the band or something?
There
you go.
Celtics in 4.
Okay.
Yep. Any others too? Hit us up on social. Give us your finals predictions on our sports account. 5P0RT5. I dropped that Twitter handle.
Any more predictions out there? Gonna give y'all another minute, 2 seconds. But with the band, with the band, Celtics in 4. Are you willing to put $1,000? Celtics win in 4.
This guy. How quickly do you think Jason Terry gets supplanted off this number 1 list? Game 1?
Oh, dude, yes.
Do both of them? Like,
it is plus 750.
Top Jason Terry?
Man. With the band's a betting man, plus 750. All right, I see how it is. Most points.
I feel like Kyrie and
Oh
Luka
yeah,
will get more
for
than
sure.
35 in the
One of
series.
those guys are gonna get like 37, 36, maybe even
Yeah.
40 one of these games. So I'm looking forward to it. Um, but yeah, guys, thank you all for tuning in. It's been a long NBA season, but we're finally here. I know we weren't super consistent with the basketball episodes, but we're at this point. We're gonna we're gonna see what Tatum, Brown, and Luca and Kyrie got. So let's the let's hope for the best, and let's hope for. I mean, I know with the band wants 4 game series, but
Yeah. I mean, I'm
I'm
thinking
really
5.
hoping. Yeah, you want 5? I'm trying to
I
get
don't want
7.
5. I'm predicting
Yeah,
5. Let's make that clear.
yeah.
I
Well,
don't. I don't want the Celtics to win,
wait, that's
but
not a sports.
I also want to be right.
Yeah, you're right. Listen, wait, hold up. Let me do like a sports betting thing real quick for game one. It's not a sport. It's not a sports episode until I give out a pick. So let me
Hey, what's your
go.
game one?
I'm gonna do. I've been
Put a little parlay down there.
for NBA. I've been doing props, and
Okay.
I like doing props. It's a little more um feasible to me than choosing like a winner. I feel like I can just bet on a player, and no matter what happens on the outcome, win or lose, that player can do this. So I honestly really like Kristaps Porzingis under 15 and a half points. I'm just going to do a single straight bet. This is just going off a whim. Um, I'm going to book Porzingis under 15 and a half points. Jerezy, I like the first player. Hey, those are fun, but those are like very like it's like playing roulette, putting like $100. All
Love
right,
roulette.
let me see real quick. What's the odds
Do
on
they
the?
got crazy like props like how Super Bowl has like Gatorade color? Do they have like
I don't think they
who
have.
wins
I wish they had that for
tip
NBA
off?
Finals, but I think they have more of just like first basket type of thing. So let's see who the. I mean, you got Porzingis at +4. You think Celtics will feed Porzingis early and maybe like try to get him going? I kind of like that at +475. And there's also
Feed him to get the first basket.
yeah, and I feel like well, he has not the lowest odds, but he's pretty low compared to someone like Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving's +850. So
That's kind of high,
I
right?
I'm not yeah plus 850 is kind of high, but I don't know. I'm not
In
gonna give out
Boston, you
any
think they're gonna
pick.
try to get him going first?
It just depends because I think the reason why some of the Celtics players are a little bit lower odds is because Porzingis. I think they're predicting Porzingis is gonna win the tip, and
Yeah.
that's why like Porzingis is +475, Jalen Brown's +450, Tatum's plus five
Oh,
fifty,
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
and then
This
like
first basket of the
Dallas,
game, right? Not for
yeah,
either team.
yeah, exactly. First basket of the total game. So, yeah, I if I were to put some money on it, I put my bread on Porzingis to score the first basket, but he's also going to go under and put under 15 and a half points. I think they're going to get him going to start, but he's going to eat. Nah, fam. I think Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum finna eat, but we'll see. We'll see game one with the band. We'll link back up. Um, the
Look at
officials.
that, Scott Foster, baby.
Oh my God,
The
fuck
league
Scott
can't help
Foster.
itself.
I hate Scott Foster and I hate
Everybody
Tony
does.
Brothers.
All my homies hate Scott Foster.
Damn.
Tony Brothers.
Sheesh.
Hey, Proper and I will be on tomorrow after the game to do a little quick game one recap.
Yeah.
We'll get his thoughts and insights towards the rest of the final series, even though it'll be with an asterisk because he is going to be coming on after game one.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
all they gave us was prediction. But hey, you know what? That's how we do it here. Not
Fuck.
one in Boston since stomping a logo. Oh.
Sheesh.
See, it's just, I mean, that's just part of the equation for me, you know?
Man, I've been waiting for a chip. Hey, I know you've been waiting for a chip. If we lose, I am going to hiding.
Coming from a Niner fan, like getting this close and losing again is it's so tough. It's so tough.
I mean,
I didn't want to watch anything football for months. Like I'm still shocked that I watched the draft and was so into it. I was legit gutted after that Super Bowl, dude.
oh man, I have a homie too that was that was like so super salty, like posting all this shit about how the refs fucked it all up. So
LOL Niners, yeah, that's fine. You can't hurt me anymore with the ban. I'm already hurting. I'm
all
like
right,
callous
y'all.
now.
All right, y'all. It was fun talking with you, Zach. Feel the
Yep.
burn. Glad we finally got on a basketball episode for the finals. But yeah,
Yep.
before with the band, appreciate the love and the tuning in. Um,
Yeah.
make sure y'all check us out, too, on Twitch, Instagram, X at K4V3_sports. That's with a 5P0RT5.
Yep.
Once again, we appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all after game one. I won't be
See you
there, but
tomorrow.
Feel the Burn and Proper got y'all. So
We got
peace.
y'all. Finals are here, bro. You made it.
A
The little freestyle I did on that was pretty dope.
Oh yeah, that was